Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at the Plex for the final time this season, and that means it's senior night. We're honoring a lot of great Gamecock hockey players tonight here, JP. But before the ceremonies begin, they're taking on Clemson for the first time this season. Usually we've seen them once or twice by now, but this being the first time in the 24-25 season, what do you expect from yet another installment of the Great Palmetto Cup?
Well, last season it was probably the best it's ever been. Two or three really good games. But Clemson, with their best team that they had in quite some time, suspended for the first semester of this season. They're back. They're 10-3 in this semester. They didn't get enough games to qualify for nationals. But Spencer, they wouldn't want to end their season any other way than beating South Carolina.
That's right. It's been a long time brewing for the Tigers. They haven't beaten South Carolina since the 2016-17 season. But for South Carolina, their season does go past this game. Although they'd love to beat the Tigers and send another group of guys out the door with have never lost to their arch rival. JP, South Carolina is headed to the AAU Division I tournament, which they won last year. What's that looking like this year? What's their group? Would you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, it's gone all the way from Pennsylvania down to Jacksonville, Florida, and they're the number 3 overall seed in a group with Farmingdale State College, Delaware Blue Hens, and the Alabama Frozen Tide. Delaware, a team that Gamecocks played last season here in Columbia, and Alabama, a team they're very familiar with.
They've played the ACHA version of the team. They played the AAU Division I team. Farmingdale State, however, a team they're not quite common to. They actually have the second, highest points player in all of AAU Division I behind our very own John Riggins. So some great individual talent on that team. But again, that's still a ways away. Tonight, South Carolina takes on Clemson. Puck's going to drop any moment here. We'll be back with a little bit more on the Senior Day celebrations, and then we'll have your puck drop. Stay with us here on SGTV. And welcome back to the Plex, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm Spencer Ball, joined today by JP Barry. The last time here for us at the Plex, the last time here for seniors on both teams here. And really, JP, we couldn't be more honored to get to call this one tonight. It's going to be another great matchup, the first Palmetto Cup we've seen in a while. JP, could you tell us a little bit about the matchup, how it fared last season?
Yeah, last season, South Carolina began in November with a 6-2 win up in the upstate, and then returned the favor a week later with a thrilling overtime home victory, 5-4. And then in Greenville, Clemson took an early lead, but South Carolina came from behind and took home a 5-3 road victory in Greenville to sweep the Palmetto Cup in the 2023-24 season.
And again, doing some research in this rivalry, JP, is not the easiest thing because I wish all the data was in one place.
Yeah.
Trying to look over Twitter, Gamecock's website, which only goes back a couple seasons, trying to find the last time that the Tigers took down South Carolina. And College Hockey South actually released an article today saying that it hasn't been since the 2016-17 season. So we're going to go with what we found there because, again, it was real hard to track down. So the Tigers looking to snap a long, long streak. JP, what's it going to take for the Tigers to get it done here on the road?
Well, it's really going to start, Spencer, with their captain, Cade Heinold, who scored their game-winning goal in the College Hockey South D2 tournament against South Florida. And he's just been very good for them all season long, 11 points in 13 games. He's actually their leading goal scorer with 7, tied with Ethan Callahan on the year. So it's been a great season for him. It's unfortunate for him that his season has been cut short, but it also comes down to getting help from your blue line because Parker Dietz has a save percentage over 900, but a goals allowed average over 3. So he's facing a lot of shots, stopping most of them, but, man, they're just hammering it on.
And you got to expect South Carolina's going to have that circled. As a team, we know what they can do on offense, and they really like to push the pace. You got to think Dietz is going to be under a lot of duress tonight. But for Clemson, only 3 losses in their shortened season. Again, they started in January, have only lost to 1-seeded D2 Middle Tennessee State, the 2nd-seeded South Florida team, and then a Vanderbilt team 6-5 in overtime. So, JP, this team is 10-3 on the season. Honestly, they've played really hard. It's unfortunate that they probably just don't have the amount of games to make it to that end-of-season tournament. But they're in good form, so I wouldn't be discouraged, if you're a Tiger fan out there, because, again, you probably would have put together one of your better seasons in a long time if you had the full year to do so. But
well,
tonight,
frankly, they have no one to blame but themselves.
Absolutely, 100%. You can't do what they did and expect to not get punished. But again, you move on, you try and grow from it. And we've got the Palmetto Cup, and tonight, JP, it's all about the seniors. And we're just going to take it pretty slow here again. We'll see who they announce one by one, and, of course, we'll give them their flowers. A lot of family in town tonight, JP. My parents are in town. A lot of players' parents are at the Plex here. It's a beautiful sight, isn't it?
Absolutely. And, our senior night action begins here with Ronan Mulcairn.
Yeah, Team Prez, it's a big honor. The defenseman, JP, a guy that definitely goes under the radar, similar to what we said about Bobby DeChico last year, but a really great team leader and a guy that, you just can't talk about enough for what he's done for this team on the ice and off it as well, leading them.
Absolutely. It really comes down to it. On your blue line, you got to have grit, toughness, determination, and an ability to lead. And those are qualities that befit the president of a club. And Ronan Mulcairn checks all those boxes. And he has been just such a force for this team, delivering some of the more punishing hits we've seen.
Absolutely. Next up here is going to be Connor Berman. Again, a guy up front that has really been reliable. And JP, I think, has done a great job of making impact when it matters most. A very timely scorer, gets involved. And he's one of those guys that you see racing up and down the ice, and it might not end up on the stat sheet, but a real glue guy for this squad.
Yeah, relentless motor. He only has 4 goals on the season, but you'll remember every single one because they're always a timely, big opportunity. And then here, the alternate captain, Nick Kay, from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, one of a few South Carolina natives on the squad this year, a 19-point scorer on the campaign. He has just been a force on that starting line for South Carolina all year long.
Yeah, and it's, not just this year. I mean, this is a guy that's been great for this program for a while now. He plays with the physicality that South Carolina likes to play with. Had a fair few amount of trips to the penalty box, but you definitely can live with that. And another South Carolinian, it's Marco Pineda, another alternate captain, 12 goals, 15 assists on this season. And JP, we talked about timely scoring earlier. In the biggest occasions, you always find Marco Pineda.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Another alternate captain, this one, a Charleston, South Carolina native. The senior winger with 27 points on the season, 12 goals, 15 assists. Stuff in the stat sheet, a really big scoring output increase from a year ago. And it's nice to see him get those A's on the jersey for this final game.
It's really great. And next up is going to be Brody Smojice here. He's served kind of as an assistant coach this year, but played on the team the last couple years.
And he's trying to run on ice and not.
I tell you what, he's almost there, and he's done a good job, but he's got to turn around and do it again. But, JP, you mentioned the bone-crushing hits when you mentioned Rona Mulcairn. Brody Smojice is a guy we've seen ejected a couple times because of those big hits. But, I mean, he sets the tone physically and is a great leader for this team.
Yeah, he was one of the major pieces of last year's championship squad, and I feel like he's been a major part of this team and the coaching staff now. And joining him at mid-ice is Smojice is shuffling his way off. It's number 7, Josh Wilkins, who, a lot like Connor Berman, doesn't find the stat sheet often, but when he does, he makes it count.
He sure does. And, again, just another guy that plays hard. I mean, you can say that for every person on this team, but I think that really speaks to what this team does. They play hard, they skate hard, they get after the puck, and Josh Wilkins exemplifies that. And he's been a great piece to this team. And again, we're going to repeat ourselves a lot because everybody here is so important, and it takes a village here.
And now Drew Henderson, the senior defenseman, always seemingly paired up with Mulcairn on the blue line, the 2 seniors.
Quick spoiler, they're going to get the start tonight.
Yeah.
But, a great pairing back there, JP.
I mean, he is, I think, the best defensive skater on this team. Always in the right spot, not afraid to drop to a knee or hit the ice, try and block a passing lane or stop a high-danger shot attempt.
Yeah, next up is number 16, Adam Feldman. Another guy who we actually met his parents just a little bit ago. And first off, super nice people, but just great to see them. And the support for us, it means the world to us. But again, a really great skater. And Adam, I think he's one of those guys like Connor Berman where really chases the puck hard. And you can say the same about the next guy. Tommy Locken might be the fastest skater on this Cock hockey team, JP. Just an absolute speedster. And also, man, I mean, this guy plays hard.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like, like you said, we're repeating ourselves a lot, but these guys have been the backbone of a team that has just been so good the last 3-4 years, and you've really kind of seen them come up with the team.
And they've taken this program to new heights, JP. I mean, these are the guys that win you that first national championship, and they'll never be forgotten at all.
And now it's Ian Huver, transfer from Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. And,
just a monstrous figure.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at him. He's a beast.
He has been such a big part of the physicality of this team. And, I think this is his first season with the club.
Yeah.
But he's made his presence felt.
He sure has. And, I mean, just another physical skater who's, you look at him, he looks about 6'6", and it makes sense with the way he plays. That big physical frame really secures the back end of this team. And I believe we've got one more here unless I'm – that's right. It's the goalie, number 30, Peter Papadopoulos. And arguably all-name team here. You know, just a sweet name. But a great addition to this team. He's 2-0 on the season in his 2 starts. And, again, just another great guy to have on your team. Most hockey teams, JP, don't get to go 3 goalies deep.
No,
and they're very fortunate.
Has made himself one of the best backup goaltenders in the College Hockey South. And you know, having someone you can lean on like this, you know, if you need to give someone a rest or you need to go to someone in case of an injury, having someone to rely on like that is perfect. And speaking of having someone to rely on, talk about the staff and those around it, because it's not just senior night for players. Emma, excuse me, my phone freaked out. Emma Silvis,
the equipment manager here for Cock Hockey. And JP, I think we can say without a shadow of a doubt, the largest applause over any player was for Emma. And, you know, she gives us the starting lineups every week.
She has just been such a help to us over the last couple of years. We wouldn't be where we are without her.
I mean, you've got the officiating crew clapping for her. And just, it's not just her. There's a plethora of names here.
Yeah, Hannah
Prost, I believe, here.
Yes, I did not want to mess up her last name. The director of marketing.
We're trying to hear our PA guy at the same time. You know,
yeah,
trying to nail
we
that.
know the players, but.
Next up is our director of merchandise, Jeannie Burt.
Director of merchandise here. That's going to be Jenny Burt stepping onto the ice. And JP, director of merchandise might be one of the most important jobs with Cock Hockey.
I mean, everything flies off the shelf for them, doesn't it? I mean, it's.
You talk about a money machine.
You see it everywhere you go.
That's
Football
right.
games.
And it started with these black jerseys that Cock Hockey has on tonight.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
this set the internet on fire, and deservedly so. And the director of ops here, the last staff senior to be recognized, Olivia Ballwick. Favorite memory, beating Clemson and winning the national championship. Again, it doesn't get much better than that, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes that really, really, you know,
make it count.
Make it count and keep this team going. And it's stuff that you don't see on the ice, but very, very grateful for them. But a huge shout out to not only the senior players, but the senior staff. And JP, something we didn't talk about. There are a lot of seniors on this Clemson squad who are playing their last college hockey game tonight.
Absolutely. We'll start off with
the captain, Cade Heinold, one of the starters on the night for Clemson. And then joining him, Patrick O'Brien, Connor Peterson, Tommy Papa, Ethan Callahan, Mike McKeon, Jack Eggmeyer, Ronan Bryant, and goaltender Josh Bailey. Spencer, those are the seniors. Right now we got the starting lineups. Give us the lineups for the Clemson Tigers.
I sure will. Starting in net for them is the sophomore goalie, Parker Dietz. We mentioned him earlier. He has a really good save percentage at .912, but the goals allowed at .316. They're going to have to try and get him some help here. Starting at his blue line is going to be the freshman Matthew Ianta and Cameron Iacobelli. Up front, it's going to be Mike McKeon, Santiago Diaz, and the senior leader, Cade Heinold. JP for our Gamecocks getting announced right now. Tell the crowd, baby.
Absolutely. Starting in net, it's Zach Hayes, who has had a real good year bouncing back from a season ago. And, you know, he has a 7-4-0 record on the year with a .345 goals allowed average from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. On the wings, you got Josh Wilkins, the senior, as well as Nick Kay. And then at center, it's Marco Pineda, an all-senior first line for the Gamecocks. And then your blue line pairing is Drew Henderson and Ronan Mulcairn. So it's all seniors except for Hayes in net. Spencer, you know, this is what senior day is all about.
It is. You know, you got to get your seniors on the ice, and especially when each of them have contributed to this program so greatly. It's beautiful to see, JP. And really, it feels weird to say, something we will certainly talk about in our post-game show. We've really gotten to grow up with the team, which is just such a beautiful experience to see. But, you know, we went from seeing a lot of these guys fourth, last line players getting a lot more playing time. With that being said, we'll take a break for the national anthem. And that was your national anthem here. We're back at the Plex and just about ready to get into the action. Again, I'm Spencer Ball, joined by JP Barry here on Student Gamecock Television. It's been a pleasure to bring you Cock Hockey for so long. JP, let's send him out with a bang, huh?
Absolutely. There's nothing quite like it. It's a big game on a Friday night in Irmo, South Carolina, and it's not just any big game. It's the one and only rendition of this year's Palmetto Cup. South Carolina, Clemson. Clear your calendar for the next 2-3 hours. We'll see, depending on the amount of fights they have.
Yeah, maybe not 4. Let's not stretch it that far. But I tell you what, this one is bound to be a good one. It's been brewing. These two teams haven't seen each other in a while. They'll skate around. Settle in here at center ice, JP. And we're underway. Puck drop that South Carolina wins. Clemson has it in their own defensive zone. They'll just chip it down. It goes all the way back to Hayes off the side of the net for an icing call here. Just 12 seconds in. And
get used to that.
Definitely, it's going to be very interesting to see what role the officials play in trying to keep this one, a calm game. Again, tempers are going to flare. It's bitter rivals in every single sport as South Carolina wins another face-off shot. Deflected before it gets to Dietz. Clemson plays it up. Looking for Diaz, but racing back is Ronan Mulcairn, who fins off him. Kay plays it off the boards to himself. Into neutral ice where Marco Pineda frees it up. Nick Kay skating into the offensive zone. Does so cleanly and has it behind the net. He'll slow down play. Kay still fighting. He still has it. Incredible job to hold on to that puck. Left face-off circle shot. Saved by Dietz. Played back off the boards for Wilkins. Kay now near side boards. Showing off his stick work here, just dancing with the puck at the end of his stick. Ianta just chasing it, but Kay does end up giving it away. Clemson on a bit of a break, gets Heinold with it. He's got Diaz, centering pass, shot, and Clemson strikes first. Santiago Diaz with a goal in just the second minute puts the Tigers on top 1-0.
And, this is where Clemson has really kind of come up as of late. I mean, you blink and they get a breakaway. Heinold to Diaz, and they score.
A great finish there from Diaz, but South Carolina left Hayes out there all alone, and, there was defenseman back. I think it was just slightly misplayed there, as didn't quite get in front of that centering pass, and if you leave Diaz all alone, he's going to get his 9th goal of the season like he did just there. South Carolina has it now. Shot on, gloved easily by Dietz, but we'll have a face-off in Clemson zone. Might have been a shock to the system there for South Carolina, JP.
Absolutely.
The 18:48 mark. Santiago Diaz with the first goal of the game. Again, Clemson with a 1-0 lead here. Just a minute and a half into this one. They'll poke it out of their own zone, but South Carolina will send it back to Dietz. Tommy Locken with it, right face-off circle. Deeks to his right, looks for a centering pass, snuffed out. Feldman comes up and looks for it, unable to connect, as Clemson now off to the races again. It's Will Van Sicklen who just put it behind net. He's their team's leading point man on the season and tied for the lead in goals with 9. Looks like Ian Hoover's taken down. There's going to be no call as he's still down back there. Entering the zone is Clemson. Pass saved by Hayes. He makes another double save near side post, and the refs are finally going to blow it dead as Hoover had been down that whole time holding his arm.
Yeah, I think it's the I can't tell if it was on the hit or if he had landed on his arm, but it is, I mean, he is
hunched over holding his arm. Hopefully Ian's okay. That is a really tough blow on senior night too, and again, he's going to be checked too, but he is walking off under his own power there. Face-off in South Carolina's zone. The Gamecocks win it here. A little over 2 minutes in. It's Garrett Albers with it, near side boards. Clemson shot way over the head of Zach Hayes. That was Matthew Ianta.
And the reaction to that was so loud, you didn't hear the whistle blow for the puck leaving play.
Yeah, no, I mean, and something we haven't mentioned, but honestly, JP, it feels like we don't need to. It's a packed house at the Plex.
Yeah, there was no other way for this season to end.
Pad save there from Hayes on the slapper from Cameron Iacobelli. He has it now in neutral ice. Whiffs on a pass, but stuck with it. Kicks it away from a Gamecock skater. But the Gamecocks do have possession. It's Kai Bonsukin here. Errant pass there from South Carolina, gives it right back to Clemson, but snuffed out by Colin Reed. He enters the offensive zone. Shot saved by Dietz. Just hit him right in the chest, but a good job there from Reed to break that up. And JP, it looks like South Carolina just needs to get warmed up a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
you know, they've struggled with slow starts all year long. It's been notorious. But how about on senior night, Kai Bonsukin and Colin Reed, a freshman and a sophomore respectively.
Shot just poked to the side by Dietz right off the face-off circle. Riccitelli, shots deflected before it can get to the Clemson goalie. His bodies keep hitting the ice over on that far face-off circle. South Carolina's going to touch up with it. Clever play to try and get something off the face-off. JP just couldn't quite go their way.
No, yeah, and, you know, back to what I was saying, you know, a true freshman and a sophomore hearing their names called this early on senior night. You know, the talent has been on display all year long. We've really seen these young guys get better.
Absolutely, and speaking of talent, here's Brendan Flaherty, left face-off circle shot. Saved by Dietz. And Flaherty, JP, I'd say he's top 3 in just his ability with the stick on this team, man.
Yeah, his puck handling skills put him almost in a league of his own up there with, I believe personally, Colin Reed and John Riggins. You know, those guys can just make it happen.
I'd throw Jake Pushkar's hat in the ring there as well, but all great. Skov fires. That one wide of the target and went up and out of play, so it's going to be another face-off here at the 16-17 mark in the first period. If you missed it, Santiago Diaz for the Tigers scored first just under 2 minutes into this one. Tigers lead it 1-0 here at the Plex.
That came off of a neutral zone turnover, something South Carolina has struggled with all year long.
Especially early in games, they've got to clean it up. We saw it last week against Georgia, their best start yet as Clemson's off to the races again. Looked for a centering pass, a little too high up to cause too much danger. And now Riggins has it for the Gamecocks. He looks for a centering pass, pressured heavily from Heinold. Clemson gets it forward all the way up to Diaz, the goal scorer. He slows up for his teammates. Gets it to McKeon behind the net, who's taken out. Gonna be a penalty there on South Carolina.
Yeah, John Riggins, the puck was gone. He went low, tried to upend him, and that's not gonna play for the first penalty of the night on either squad. But Santiago Diaz is playing like he was shot out of a cannon. He's been responsible for Clemson's
three best chances. He scored the first goal, and then these two rushes here. Look for him on the power play to get involved.
Definitely look for him, but for South Carolina, JP, you're in danger of going down 2-0 here in the first period. That's something you really don't want to see. This team's got to, wake up a little bit because, again, we mentioned it pregame, Clemson is a good hockey team. Mike McKee in there, passed it right to the stick of Josh Wilkins, who's heavily pressuring him. Locken also in pursuit there, but Diaz is going to slow things up. Finds his man to the right, and they enter the offensive zone. Looking to stay a while, but a bad pass for Will Ralston. Seemingly turned it over, but South Carolina couldn't hang on to it. Good hit there from Drew Henderson. Carolina clears off the leg of the ref. That one won't play to Carolina's favor, but Clemson had to touch up anyways. Zach Hayes tried to get out and play that one early. And Clemson will have to take it back. It's Cade Heinold getting it over to Diaz. Back to Heinold. He loses it. Good stick work there from Wilkins. Diaz enters the zone. Tries to get through Drew Henderson. Unable to do so, but it fell for his teammate, Sully Kopf. On the blue line. That was Iacobelli. Back to Kopf. Near side, just poked across face of goal, but nothing doing. Wilkins tries to clear off Kopf's face, but doesn't do. Hayes heads up, poking that one to the side. And Carolina finally clears. Big hit from Tommy Locken. He skates back and intercepts a pass. It was going to be a little dangerous. 30 seconds left on the power play. Goes all the way back to Parker Dietz. Enzo Finelli heavily pursuing that one, trying to kill a bit more time here.
Yeah, and for Clemson, it's a power play where they put on some pressure, but they still haven't, by my tally, gotten any shots on goals. And, it can't be a good power play unless you put the puck on net. You can.
As this one goes all the way up to Enzo Finelli, looks for a forward pass to Connor Berman. Seemed to just slip, but that will effectively kill off the power play. A good answer to a bad penalty for South Carolina. And JP, I think you're right. Clemson just didn't slow it down enough for my liking. Is that one played up into the ceilings with 13:35 left? What would you have done differently? It seemed a little unorganized.
Well, I would shoot the puck for one. That's kind of the crux of the issue there. But, I mean, they were doing good things, but they weren't really kind of generating anything off of it. They were just kind of mindlessly doing good things, but they weren't, you can only pass the puck so much and still keep looking for the best shot. Eventually, you just got to take a shot.
I think you're right. They didn't take enough opportunities there. Centering pass, Pushkar, shot. Pad save, Dietz. That was the Gamecocks' best opportunity by far. Still with it, Carson Scove. Left face-off circle. Bonsukin with it now. Keeps it in the blue line. Great pass from him. Far side, Tommy Marvin. Shot. Deflected high. Still out in front. Falls back down to Tommy Marvin here. He's looking for help on the near side boards. Gets it to Pushkar on the blue line. Looking for Scove, near side. Saved by Dietz again. Pushkar centering pass, shot. Wide of goal. Pineda still with it. Pass didn't have enough on it, and Clemson able to clear, but not good enough for icing. So the Gamecocks will have won a face-off in Clemson's zone. That was some good chances there from South Carolina.
Yes, it was. None better than the toe-dragging shot by Tommy Marvin, number 6 for the Gamecocks. One of the best facilitators in the game with 33 assists on the season, but he nearly had his 4th goal. Dietz just barely got the shoulder to it and moved it up and over net.
Dietz has been locked in so far, JP. He's been really solid in net. Riggins wins the face-off there. He's taken down. Bonsukin keeps it in. Shot off a Clemson defender, and Colin Reed has it back. Riggins right face-off circle. Plays it back to the blue line. Bonsukin shot. Parried away from Dietz, but had good trajectory there, as Reed plays it off the boards. So Marvin hit the ice there pretty hard. Nice move there, shot behind net. Gamecock still with it, it's Colin Reed. Backhanded pass to Bonsukin. The lefty up point. Pass is broken up by Owen Connors. Good play from him to just be disruptive. And we are under the 12-minute mark now in period number 1. Here's Brendan Flaherty. Shot, pad, save, Dietz. Rebound, Reed just wide. Clemson with it behind net. Nick Kay with a great pursuit. Gamecocks still with it. Looks for a centering pass, but it's snuffed out by Clemson. They'll look to get ahead on a rush, but nothing doing it. Ben Riccitelli heads up, read it all the way. Flaherty to Riccitelli. He'll just cross-ice pass there, back to Brendan Flaherty. We'll just have to send it down ice. Garrett Albers giving chase. A good job to not turn it over there from Brendan Flaherty, but Clemson does come away with the puck here with Ianta. He gets it to Diaz, plays it off the boards. Clemson goes for a line change outside the freshman Matthew Ianta. And the Gamecocks are going to race it in. It's Ben Riccitelli. Does a good job evading his own man there. They lose possession with Garrett Albers. They're first on the boards. Adam Feldman getting involved, and the Gamecocks have it. A little bit of a stick party over there. It seems like the Gamecocks poked it free, but still having a battle on the boards. Gamecocks with it. Right face-off circle, Berman giving chase. Clemson finally comes away with it cleanly. Just kidding. Flaherty pokes it back down. Iacobelli tries to clear. That's Will Ralston. Clemson finally leaves their own zone, but they don't leave with the puck at their stick. It's Adam Feldman. Gets it forward, but Ianta pokes it free. And finally, we'll take a breath here, JP.
Yeah, that was South Carolina hockey at its purest form, completely hemming Clemson into their own zone.
As Clemson gets a takeaway from Enzo Finelli right in front of goal. Look for a pass across face. Hayes save. Covered up here, shoving right in front of net. Never a good idea.
Now, we've seen enough of that to last us a lifetime, Spencer. But, South Carolina, great position there, but then Clemson getting it right back, doing what they like to do a lot, causing pressure and forcing turnovers. Nearly took advantage of it there. They had a great opportunity there with a shot that sailed across the bow of Hayes, and then another follow-up chance.
Yeah, a little bit lazy there from Enzo Finelli, and Will Van Sicklen almost took advantage of it. Hayes, big credit to him for staying focused back there in net as the Gamecocks have it. It's Tommy Locken. Backhanded pass finds Finelli. Gets it over to his defenseman. That's Ronan Mulcairn. He'll backhand it into the zone. Tommy Locken giving chase. Big hit, and he wins the puck. That's a 2-for-1 special right there. Still with it, looking for Finelli near side. Just clipped the net instead. Henderson keeps it in. Plays it all the way around to Finelli. Backhanded pass shot. Deflected in front of Dietz. Clemson now with it. They'll be able to get out of their own zone. Try to work it forward, but nothing really doing as Wilkins laying some hits. Shot wide of Hayes. Clemson still with it, though, here. Shot fired on, wide of Hayes again. That was Cade Heinold. The Gamecocks are able to take a bit of a breather and slow it down before they ramp up again. Josh Wilkins taken down, much to the chagrin of Gamecock fans. Diaz with it, right face-off circle. Pass broken up. Oh, they're going to call a high stick there on Enzo Finelli. On Santiago Diaz there. The Gamecocks commit their second.
Yeah, that one.
Only 2 penalties on the night.
That one, you could argue was incidental, but the follow-through, he's going for the puck, but the moment you follow through upwards, as I just tried to do, and I hit my hand on a piece of metal.
That probably hurt.
Not as much as taking a stick to the face, I reckon. But the moment that follow-through goes up and connects with someone in the face, you're going to get that high sticking call 60% of the time, every time.
Couldn't have said it better right there. Clemson wins the face-off. Santiago Diaz with it, far side. Gets it over to Ralston. Skips his stick, though. It's going to be a rush for the Gamecocks. It's Pushkar. He's got Skove to his right. Pass to Skove. Digs past Dietz. Dietz makes a great save. It's still out in front. Clemson able to control it. What a save from Parker Dietz. Diaz with it now. He'll slow it up for Clemson. Cross-ice pass to Ralston. Heinold has it now. Whiffs on it. He'll slow it down. Good aggressive skating there from South Carolina to just get in front of the slow pass. That was Aiden Dunphy. Shot saved by Hayes. He'll cover up.
And that's a veteran
More
move by
shoving
Hayes.
right in front of net. Again, looks like Will Ralston's all tangled up there. Don't think he meant anything by it, but he got tangled up with a defender, and you know, they're going to get their free shots in right there in front of Hayes.
Absolutely, but that was a veteran move by Hayes. He knocked that one down, immediately pounced on it to cover it up. He knew Ralsted was in the area, but South Carolina almost as good at taking penalties as they are killing them. You know, it's already almost a minute gone, and although Clemson has more shots on goal in this one than they did in the first one already,
South Carolina's had the better chance there. I mean, Carson Scove forced an unbelievable save out of Parker Dietz. It was Pushkar with a great pass. Dietz has given up 6 shorthanded goals on the year, JP. Almost made it 7 there as the puck goes all the way to him as we're under a minute left in the power play. It's Iacobelli with it. He'll try to slow it down as he fins off. All sorts of pressure there. Is Clemson looking to slow it down? Down goes Iacobelli. Nick Kay with a monster hit. South Carolina off to the races as someone's down behind net. It's going to be a penalty. Holding his knee down there.
And Nick Kay is lucky that he's not getting a penalty too, as that hit on the near side boards, it was a little bit high. I can't tell who that is down for South Carolina.
We'll let you know, but he went down immediately and started grabbing at something. It's Kaibon Sukin. Hopefully he's okay. I didn't quite see what happened, but immediately ref's arm went up. JP, do you see who's in the box for the Tigers? I can't quite get an eye on it.
No, you know, the smudges on this window are making it a little tough. Let's see if our good cameraman Doug can.
Is that a 14, Mr. Doug, JP?
Doug, to the right. There we go. Yes, it is. I'm spectating our zoomed-in camera to our right. That is number 14.
As Troy Gouveia there. As Kaibon Sukin's back to his feet, walking under his own power, and seems to be okay, JP. That is all you can ask for here.
Yeah, but it looks like he's going to go to the locker room.
No, that's Tommy Marvin. He's just skating.
6 and 5 are so close together.
No, he's on the bench. He might get some further attention, but seems to be okay. Maybe just shaken up. But again, we've got 4-on-4 hockey for the next 33 seconds, and then that'll turn into a Gamecock power play.
Well, it doesn't help that Tommy Marvin is also, you know, his jersey's bunched up and he's holding his head. So I was like, oh God.
Yeah, no, it did look a little confusing. I was gonna say if Bonsukin stayed in there, I was like, oh, what a warrior. Not to say he's not, but, you know, it's rare you see a player pick up an injury and then stay on there. It's going to be a 2-minute penalty on Gouveia for the Tigers. 7:09 left in the first. Tigers lead it 1-0 here. JP, I think Parker Dietz has kept Clemson in front here, as South Carolina's had a good bit of momentum here recently.
Yes, they have, and
they have the puck here. Pushkar with it. Cross-ice pass shot. Saved by Dietz. Quick to slide there. Good job from him as it was Marvin on the shot. Riggins has it. Looks for, I believe that was Marvin again on a one-timing.
That was almost a perfect tic-tac-toe operation from South Carolina. They worked it down low to the goal line, then over to the face-off circle, and then into the slot, but it just barely jumped the stick.
And Diaz has it now for Clemson. The power play for Clemson is gone, so it's 5-on-4 for South Carolina, and Clemson wisely just chewing some clock here. South Carolina not pursuing as hard as we thought they might be. They are going to slow it down here, leave it for Tommy Marvin. He leads AAU in assists, JP, with 33. Huge numbers.
I mean, he's like Steve Nash out there.
Colin Reed has it, centering pass. Back for Pineda. Riggins has it right face-off circle. Fakes the shot, backhand effort. Dietz saved. Great fake shot there from John Riggins.
Yeah, and, you know, that was almost extremely dangerous. For a second there, it looked like Clemson was about to get a 2-on-0 breakaway the other way. Puck leaked out to John Riggins, who faked the shot and went down low to the goal line for his teammate trying to set him up. And Dietz met him in the hole with his 13th save of the night.
Yeah, he's been really great for the Tigers. So Riggins loses it against the boards. It goes all the way to Zach Hayes with 45 left on the power play. Pass over to Marvin as Will Van Sicklen was giving chase. They'll work it to the left. It kicks off the skate of Jake Pushkar, but he still chases after it with Iacobelli. Keeps it in the zone. Now it's cleared. Almost pushed into the Clemson bench is Jake Pushkar there. The fans don't like that one. 20 seconds left. John Riggins sees the clock. Turns the speed up there. It's poked away from him. 15 to go. Cleared by Clemson. A great kill for them so far. It's not quite done yet, but we'll see if South Carolina can try and convert one last opportunity. Here's Marvin. He enters the zone. Left face-off circle. Plays it off the boards to John Riggins as the power play's dead. 5-on-5. Pass near goal to Colin Reed. Plays off the boards and Riggins skates off. South Carolina's still with it, though.
And it's a penalty, I think, coming
On
up
Clemson,
to
I
coming
believe.
up to Clemson.
See who hits the box for them. Looks to be maybe Matthew Ianta, the freshman starter.
Yes, that
Sure
will
is.
be who it is from Toronto. I couldn't quite tell what happened in that corner. It's our blind spot up here.
I
But
saw some fans clamoring down there, and then someone hit the ground. So, they're home fans, so they're going to cheer for it either way. Good to see Bonsukin back on the ice, but did whiff on that one. Does a good job of just getting it away from Santiago Diaz, but it falls to Sully Koff. Shot. Zach Hayes does a good job to poke it high. Carson Scove with it now. Skates it into the Clemson zone. Slows it down. Gets it to Bonsukin at the point. He'll fire on. Takes a deflection in front of Dietz. Doesn't go in somehow.
I think that one might have hit the iron or a player in the crease.
It
I
certainly
can't. I don't know how that one didn't go in. All the people behind it seemed to think it was a goal as well.
Sure did. Locking. Near side face-off circle. Cross-ice pass. Just whiffed on it. That one seemed to be a golden opportunity. 1:10 left to play in the power play. Bonsukin with it. Shots again. Goes just wide. Nick Kay with it. Skates around back. Gets it over to Flaherty. Right in front of the Clemson bench. Plays it behind the boards to Scove. 50 seconds now in the power play. Bonsukin on the blue line. Shot fired on. Goal! Bonsukin from the blue line ties us up at 1 here. What a snipe, JP.
And you can hear that one. That one hit the post and banked in. I mean, talk about calling in some favors from up on high. Kai Bonsukin just lasered that one in from the point. And Dietz, I think he was expecting someone to try and deflect it, and they never did, and it stayed true.
And you can see Bonsukin liked his odds. That was his third or fourth shot of the power play from the point. Finally gets one to go home. Pinpoint accuracy. Kai Bonsukin ties us at 1 here in the Palmetto Cup with 3:30 now left to play in the first. Clemson's going to want a tripping call there. They won't get it. Drew Henderson cuts that pass out. South Carolina enters the zone, and the crowd's back in this game now. Not to say they left, JP, but they're a little bit more fired up, I'd say.
Absolutely, and in a game like this where it technically doesn't have any postseason implications, you still just got to win, baby, especially against your rival.
Just win, baby, by any means. It doesn't matter how. You just got to get it done. And frankly, that's the name of the game for both teams. And JP, we've had a wonderful first period. So the Gamecocks pass to each other. That was Mulcairn to Henderson. It goes all the way up to Berman, right face-off circle. Blocked by Dietz. Penalty to Clemson again, South Carolina. Going to try and get some 6-on-5 action here. Garrett Albers with it. Feldman has it. Henderson with it, right face-off circle. It's blocked and kicked away.
And they accidentally started playing, I think that was.
Not sure, but South Carolina, Clemson still hasn't touched it. They'll say Henderson has it, right face-off circle. Mulcairn saved by Dietz. Finally, the power play goes into effect after Parker Dietz has to stand like a brick wall in net as the Gamecocks will have another power play opportunity here.
Yes, they will. And this has been a special teams-filled back half of the first period. Spencer, and for two teams, or at least for South Carolina, who leads College Hockey South in penalty minutes, it's not entirely shocking. But, this team is really kind of make or break. But we do have an injury, I think, on the Clemson bench as South Carolina's trainer is going over.
Yeah, and for Clemson, JP, again, we hope the Clemson skaters okay. Can't quite make out who that is over there. JP, for the Tigers, feels like you can't get into this overly physical game because South Carolina's just going to wear you down in the power play.
I believe it's Matthew Ianta on the bench for
Straight from
Clemson
the box,
hurt.
yeah. Pineda with it over to Pushkar. 2 minutes left now in the game. 1:45 on the power play. Marvin has it at the point. That's Pineda. Gets it back to Riggins. Shot, whiffs on it. Right in front of goal. Gamecock's unable to send it home. Just took a bad hop off the stick as Dietz was left wobbling. Shot from Heinold off the pad of Hayes. Back and forth action. Here's John Riggins, College Hockey South Division I MVP. Right face-off circle. Shot, glove by Dietz.
And that one, I mean, Dietz just squeezed and held on for dear life as that shot by Riggins was ripped nearly in between his wing, between his elbow and his midsection.
Especially when it's coming with that kind of force, JP. I mean, good job from Dietz standing tall there as, again, the stats are starting to make more sense as he's been asked to do a lot in this first period.
Yeah, I have him pegged for 15 saves already here in the first period.
Pineda has it far side. Gets it over to Riggins. Diaz does a good job to clear there for the Tigers as we're going to hit the 1 minute mark of the power play. 1:15 now left to play in period number 1. John Riggins works it over to Jake Pushkar. Gets it to Reed, falls to Riggins, shot, whiffs on it. Right face-off circle, still has it. Up to Marvin at the point. Pass, right face-off circle, Pushkar. Unable to do anything, but still with it. Gets it to Riggins. And Diaz breaks it up, and now he's got a one-on-one rush. Backhand. Does he sneak it past Hayes?
He does.
He does. It's Diaz's second of the game, and the Gamecocks
Wow.
caught sleeping on the back end. How about Santiago Diaz with his second?
I mean, a man down, just a bad bounce, and Santiago Diaz makes South Carolina pay. He works all the way down the length of the ice. Zach Hayes doesn't leave the crease to try and play it. He chooses to stay in net, and Diaz just waits him out. And Hayes overcommits to the right side. Diaz is able to go forehand, backhand, and just whip it around him.
Yeah, and Hayes looks to have almost got there. We couldn't quite see if it had snuck past him until the official gave the call there. JP, I mean, I feel like you got to leave the crease there. That puck seemed to just float there forever. Diaz with a great finish, but the Gamecocks still on the power play as that shot goes high. Kay with it now. Bonsukin works it forward. So the Tigers lead 2-1. Cross-ice pass finds nobody. It's going to be Clemson trying for a rush of their own here. It's just fired onto Hayes, who pokes it wide. Clemson kills the power play, but there's still 15 seconds left to play. Nick Kay off to the races. He'll slow it up, looking for a last chance here. Fires it wide of net, over to Flaherty with just 2 seconds left. Shot in front of Dietz, takes a deflection. And there goes the buzzer as Clemson leads us at the end of period number 1. 2-1. JP.
I mean, you couldn't ask for a better 20 minutes of hockey, Spencer, truthfully. I mean, both teams playing at a high level. South Carolina executing on special teams with the power play goal by Kai Bonsukin, which tied things up at 1 after Santiago Diaz opened the game just a minute and 12 seconds in. But then Clemson ends the period with a special teams goal of their own, this time a man down. And guess who? It's Santiago Diaz again.
He's been everything for this Tiger team. Him and Parker Dietz in net have just been really great so far tonight. Again, the first 20 minutes down, you got to think Sirwa is going to go whip the boys into shape in the locker room. They start slow often, so this is not
This isn't the worst first period we've ever seen from South Carolina.
We've seen much worse. It's not unfamiliar territory, so they'll get a nice little talking to. We're going to take a little break. We'd encourage you to as well, but hey, come back for period number 2. Stick with us. I'm Spencer Ball. He's JP Barry here on SGTV. We'll be right back with the second period. And we're back here at the Plex. As period 2 is underway. The Tigers have a 2-1 lead thanks to 2 goals by Santiago Diaz and 1 by Kai Bonsukin. JP, we found out moments ago that the 2 share a link.
Yes, indeed. The 2 were teammates back in the day. Spencer, you look back at it, in youth hockey, the Dallas Stars elite.
Clemson has a cross-ice pass that finds nobody. They'll try and set up shop. Shot wide as Zach Hayes. Heinold fires a rocket off the boards and wide. It's blocked down. Henderson in pursuit. Heinold still with it. He's taken down by Henderson. No call seemingly, just a bit of physical play. Clemson still with it. Put together a really good game so far. JP, please continue, my friend.
Bonsukin and Diaz played together in the Dallas Stars Elite youth team in Dallas, Texas. And, 2 very talented young players for both their respective clubs. And the 2 goal scorers tonight, Spencer. Santiago Diaz started it off a minute 12 into the game with a great goal on a breakaway. And then Bonsukin tied it up on the power play later in the first.
A great shot of his own from the point there.
With 48 seconds left and a man down, Diaz put Clemson back up 2-1.
Yeah, their physical play was looking to almost bite them in the butt, but, Diaz really bailed the Tigers out there. And, again, they have the lead 2-1 in the first Palmetto Cup of the season. The Gamecocks have it far side on the boards. Cross-ice pass to Nick Kay. The senior has it, left face-off circle. Tries to work it through. Nothing doing, though. Good defense there from Christian Romeo. All the way forward. And Zach Hayes forced to make a good save as he gloves that one with 18-17 left in the second period. JP, what do the Gamecocks need to do to equalize here in this second period?
Well, they just got to keep playing their brand of hockey. They're a team that they've started slow, but the second and third periods are theirs. And you generate good chances. They've put 16 shots on goal against Dietz, and they've had some really good looks. They've had one of them find the back of the net, and it's just going to be about continuing to put pressure on.
You're absolutely right, and here's some of that pressure. Colin Reed, cross-ice pass just whiffed on by Riggins. Backhand attempt. Doesn't find pay dirt there. So the Gamecocks looking to keep that in their zone, but a good clearance from the Tigers. That was Troy Govia. That clinks off the post, doesn't get past Dietz as he has it.
No, it does.
And the ref, no goal.
The ref said goal. He made the goal signal and then waved it off after South Carolina started celebrating.
They're going to have a little chat about it. We should find out, but
I'm not sure I've ever seen anything quite like this.
Everybody on this far side, all the fans said it leaked in.
You can hear it hit the post.
We've got
and Dietz didn't know where it was.
He didn't. I don't know how you can cover up a puck you don't know where it is, and especially if it was moving, JP, as he's going to get a bit of a sound test on what our fans are saying there. We can't.
I couldn't quite make it out, Spencer. You mind informing the audience?
I won't be able to, but it's going to be no goal. Am I correct there, JP?
That is shocking, Spencer. I see a ref overrule himself, but we play on.
And, that'll light a fire as Dietz stick save there. 17:29 left in the second with another faceoff. I mean, yeah, you want to fire up a team. That's one way to do it. A call doesn't go your way, and one that certainly looked like it should have there is it's hard to see from our angle. Couldn't quite see the puck, but all things indicating that it may have just snuck past Parker Dietz in net. Nonetheless, Tigers still lead at 2-1. Ian Hoover with a great stop. It almost finds its way to the back of the net.
And it's good to see Hoover out there.
I was just about to say that as he fires one onto Dietz, who pad saves. Gets it over to Dunphy. The sophomore turns it over. Clemson clears and just buys himself a breath here. But it is going to be an icing call. JP, the Gamecocks have owned the first 3 minutes, but don't have a goal to show for it.
They were
It's really frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, this is what South Carolina does. They just dominate the pace of play and dictate the action, and that's what they're doing here to open this second period. And it starts here again with another offensive zone draw.
Sure does. Dunphy has it, gets it up to Scove. Shot takes a deflection before Dietz. Clemson looks to clear, and they will. Dunphy has it, neutral ice. He'll skate back. They look for a forward pass to Pineda. Nothing doing as it goes all the way back to Zach Hayes. Hoover has it. Intercepted by Mike McKeon there. Right face-off circle. He skates around Hayes. Tries to get it to Heinold. Nothing doing. The Gamecocks might have a man advantage, but a good stick play there from McKeon to kind of save himself there. It falls to Carson Scove in neutral ice. He's got help to his left. It's going to be a penalty on the Tigers. Scove still with it, fighting through tons of contact. And the Gamecocks will have yet another power play here in the second period. Or in this game, but they're first of the second period, I should say.
Yeah, and it was an interesting play because Clemson really didn't have to do that. They had him tied up with two guys, and then they just kept hacking at him. South Carolina draws a penalty as they look to even things up.
They sure do. A 2-minute power play here for the Gamecocks. So they have a face-off right up and close to us. Jake Pushkar wins it. Tommy Marvin has it now at the point. Gets it over to Pineda, near side. Far side pass to Riggins. Deflected into the bench, and I think Coach Sarwa there had to make an agile move to dodge that one.
He almost ended up like the Buffalo Sabres color commentary guy.
And you know what? Good thing we don't have a mic on Coach then, because that one didn't. I'm sure TV executives maybe weren't a huge fan of that one. As Tommy Marvin has it after a one face-off. Pineda plays it around the boards to Pushkar. It's the power play unit the Gamecocks like. It's Marvin, Riggins, Pushkar, Pineda, and Reed. Hayes comes out to just kill that puck. Minute and a half left on the power play. They play it forward, cross ice to Riggins. Chip back behind goal. It's going to be Iacobelli able to clear it. Really good job from him. Falls all the way to Zach Hayes in net. South Carolina makes some changes. John Riggins has it now. He races into the offensive zone. Tries to work it past Ionta, unable to, but kept in. Bonsukin with it, deflected up and out of play with 1:01 left.
Yeah, and that one, you know, South Carolina, they've a lot of times they've kind of, I don't want to say settled, but they've taken a lot of these kind of like dragging, listing shots where like they let it rest on their stick for a little bit and then they shoot. It's seeming like they're trying to lull Dietz into a false sense of security.
You think they maybe ought to try some first time or something a little quicker to change things up?
They had a great opportunity.
So that one somehow, you know, we couldn't quite see what happened there, but a little chaotic in front of net. South Carolina's still with it. Flaherty with it, near side. Looks for a cross-ice pass, nothing doing. Bonsukin with it, he'll skate it forward. Deeks to his left, shot to his right. Glove save, Parker Dietz.
But what I was saying, in the first period, towards the end of that period, they had a great chance backdoor. They just whiffed on it. And I think they need to do a little bit more of that. Maybe they can work it down low, into-out offense, I think is the name of the game here for Clemson.
Yeah, and, you know, the Gamecocks, they've really had all the momentum here. Again, just can't find that second goal just yet. Tigers lead it 2-1 again. On the faceoff, it's going to be Scove versus Gouveia. Scove wins that one. Bonsukin has it. Gets it over to Flaherty to his left. Shot on. Right out in front of Dietz. He makes the original save, and scrum for the puck. They'll say he covered up as Carson Scove looked to push it past him. As JP, there was another South Carolina Clemson sporting event with Clemson getting a 5-3 win at Doug Kingsmore Stadium to start the baseball series.
Yeah, South Carolina's final two outs dying quite literally just shy of the wall. I mean, even Ethan Petrie's final out, I mean, that thing ended up carrying all the way to the wall.
Shot shouldered away from Dietz. That one had some heat on it from Nick Kay. Bonsukin with it. 15 seconds left now in the power play. Kay fires on. Glove down by Dietz. 10 seconds now. Trying to work it around. Spinning shot off the pad from Locken. 5 seconds now. It's Carson Scove. Gets it over to Kay to Bonsukin at the point. 2 seconds left. Shot deflected by Heinold. Gets it up to Flaherty, making a run in. Bonsukin has it. It's poked away. Diaz is off to the races. Nick Kay skating back to try and stop him. Backhanded pass just wide there as Diaz almost created another goal.
I mean, dare I say it, Santiago Diaz is the fastest skater on the ice.
He's been the best skater on the ice so far tonight.
I mean, it's lightning speed. It is truly something I've never seen at this level before. The way he can just get out and run, and it has led to 2 goals already for Clemson and nearly a third there.
Ianta has it, gets it over to his right, nothing doing, but a dangerous opportunity there. That was Ethan Callahan. Puck up in front of the Clemson bench. Callahan comes away with it. Bonsukin now plays it off the boards to Flaherty. Someone's without a stick somewhere. Locken with a huge hit, just absolutely blows up Iacobelli. Much to the pleasure of the crowd. But Clemson still has the puck. Shot over the head of Hayes and out of play for a face-off here. We've got some shoving. Refs quick to dispel that. JP, I think the refs have been good at guarding the physicality of the game. Just might question that goal line call. But again, no video replay.
We're going to hear about that one for a long time. But other than that, it's truly been a good game officiating-wise. They've let physicality flourish, but they haven't let it get out of hand like we've seen in games against Alabama and Charleston this semester. I mean, this is what you want rivalry hockey to be. Clean, good fun.
Ianta's going to hit the box again there. Great skating from Garrett Albers. He would have had a one-man rush there. Ianta had to stop him. He did so with just a little bit too much there. JP, what kind of penalty did they call on him there? As again, he's acting it out for the official. Were you sure of the call there?
Not particularly. That one, I mean, it felt a little touchy, but, you know, I'm not going to complain about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that was a fair call just because it's almost like, like a clear path foul. That's what it looked like there. It's a 2-minute power play. 1:50 left as it's Tommy Locken with it behind the boards. Him and Scove get tangled up with it, trying to get it from Iacobelli, and they do. South Carolina just going to slowly work these Clemson defenders. Flaherty's lurking near ice here. See if they can work it to him. They do from Bonsukin. Tries to get it back. Dangerous pass. It's Mike McKeon off to the races. He's got a one-on-one with Hayes. Hayes dives. McKeon puts it past him, and the Tigers lead it 3-1.
And well, on Clemson's second goal, we bemoaned Zach Hayes for not leaving the net. And on that one, he takes a gamble and comes up with snake eyes as he dives out of the crease and attempts the poke check. He got McKeon, but he didn't get the puck, and the puck just drifts past him into the back of the net.
Yeah, and for South Carolina, lazy passing. That one, Brendan Flaherty just didn't put enough on it. Clemson being the aggressors in these passing lanes with their second shorthanded goal of the night, JP. They take a 2-goal lead, and for South Carolina, you feel like they want an answer, and they want it here soon. John Riggins has it. He'll work it back. Shot deflected. Great play there from Christian Romeo just to use his back there to block that puck.
Yeah, no better chance to respond than with the main advantage still for a minute 10.
Yeah, you've got a good chance here, but want to work something a little more promising. Cade Heinold loses his stick. They find Pineda far side. Reed kicks it in. It's a goal with the skate from Colin Reed. How about that on senior night?
I mean, literally a 1-to-1 goal from what we saw from Jordan Stahl last night for the Carolina Hurricanes. Colin Reed, or I think it might have actually been Marco Pineda.
I think Pineda found Reed with his – I actually had a pretty good view of that. I think Pineda passed it forward, and Reed did almost a back heel and
which
kick
is fine
that
as
in.
long as it's not a true kicking motion. If it deflects off the skate, if he's in a skating motion, that's completely fine. They don't ask how, they ask how many. And Spencer, South Carolina is back within 1.
And JP, that 3-1 hockey lead rears its head again. That's one thing you taught me. That's the most dangerous lead in hockey. And all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, it's 3-2. The Gamecocks are within 1 here in the Palmetto Cup. Under 12 now to play in the second. And there's some juice in this building again. The Tigers have it. Backhanded pass up to Will Ralston. Gloved by Hayes as that one looked like a little bit of a pop fly there, but center fielder Zach Hayes made a nice play. JP, I mean, that couldn't have been, maybe we spoke it into existence this time. Usually we speak bad things into existence. But a really timely goal there from South Carolina. They definitely needed that one.
I mean, that one couldn't have come at a better time, Spencer.
And off to the races. I mean, just getting after it. Couldn't quite even see who that was. Might have been Garrett Albers down there just. Sure is. And they will give it to Colin Reed there. I was making sure I had it right, but definitely him and Pineda involved there. South Carolina has it behind their own net. That's Aiden Dunphy. He'll make a nice move in neutral ice. And skated all the way into the Clemson zone. Backhand move, shot deflected by Dietz as Dunphy almost went coast to coast. Colby Carey with it now for the Tigers. Gets it over to Iacobelli. Up to Van Sicklen. Right face-off circle. Good job to play that off the boards from Ben Riccitelli. Tries to send it around, but Ionta's waiting for it. He turns on it and gets deflected over the head of Hayes. South Carolina again wins the puck on the boards, and they're able to clear. It falls to Iacobelli in neutral ice. We'll just play it down. It takes a weird bounce up and out of play with 10:22 left here in the second. JP, South Carolina clawed one back. What's it going to take for them to get one more here?
Well, I mean, other than more bounces off your skate into the back of the net, Spencer, it's just going to be about getting back to dictating the pace of play like they did in the first couple minutes of this period. Get some good chances, like here.
Locking, that one just escaped his stick there, but again, this pressure that they apply is starting to pay dividends here as for Clemson. It's Ronan Bryant working this one forward. Flaherty wisely steers him away from goal. Iacobelli wins that one off the boards, gets it up to Bryant. Centering pass off the skate of a Gamecock defender. That was trouble. That was Tommy Papa just right in center. Looking Zach Hayes in the eyes, just couldn't quite get it on goal. Heinold plays that one up and around. Hayes misses on it as he comes out. McKeon tries to wave at it. Didn't make good contact there as Riccitelli was aware he needed to do something. Wilkins gets tangled up with McKeon. It's the hands stay down here. Clemson still with it. Diaz dodges a hit. The Tigers get it to Iacobelli. Waves on a shot. Carolina still has it, and it's going to be a Clemson penalty at some point. Shot saved by Dietz. Another Tiger to the box, and odd series of events as it's usually South Carolina committing more penalties, but Clemson
is their fourth
power
play of the night. Spencer, that one was just a silly play behind the action by Clemson. And they've given the Gamecocks a golden opportunity to notch things back up at 3 here.
And we'll see who it is headed to the box. It's going to be Cade Heinold. And again, not only do you commit a bad penalty, but you take one of your best players off the ice, and that's not what you want to do for South Carolina. It's prime time right here to equalize. But
you mentioned, what does South Carolina need to do? Well, probably have Clemson take another stupid penalty.
Well, but another thing they need to do is not give up a goal when they get a power play. They've done that twice so far. 2 shorthanded goals for the Tigers. JP, South Carolina, if they tighten up the passing, things look good on their power play. as they win the face-off from Riggins at the 9-minute mark here. He shoots. Batted down from Dietz, and that one just an absolute rocket. Pineda tries to keep it in, but it goes all the way back as Hayes will just play it up to Tommy Marvin. 1:40 left in the power play. Over to Colin Reed, a goal scorer tonight on this near face-off circle. Gets it behind, over to Jake Pushkar. Back to Riggins, over to Marvin. Back to Pushkar, waves on it just across face and net. Marvin with it, over to Riggins. Pushkar, Riggins. Pineda couldn't quite line up the slap shot there. Marvin wants to play at the point. He gets it back here. Finds Pineda, waved on just wide of Dietz. Minute 5 left here. Riggins has it. Gets it to Marvin. Just going to survey the defense here. Pineda, near side shot, takes a deflection. It was Reed. 50 seconds left now. Pineda shoots just wide left of Dietz yet again. Riggins has it now on this right side. Does a good job fending off Clemson skaters to keep control of the puck with 40 seconds left. Riggins might call his own number, gets it over to Marvin. Sends a Clemson skater flying, looking for Pushkar just off the end of his stick. Back to Pushkar, under 30 seconds left in the power play. Marvin with it now. Far side to Reed. Marvin with it. And it's a goal! Tommy Marvin rifles it past Parker Dietz, near side, right over the right shoulder. We're tied up here at the Plex.
And who else but Tommy Marvin, who in the first period tried to get top shelf over the shoulder of Dietz, and Dietz barely got to it. He knew he could beat him there again if he got the chance, and he did. His 4th goal of the season. Spencer, we're all tied up at 3-3.
We sure are, and what a finish from Tommy Marvin there. You know, the guy who's usually a pass-first skater out there just took Dietz top shelf right over his shoulder. And that's just a special finish from Tommy Marvin to tie us up here in the Palmetto Cup. We've seen a lot of great hockey, JP.
Yes, we have. And I think all, if not all but one goals in this game have been scored on special teams one way or another.
I think you're dead on with that one. I mean, it's been a lot of power play or shorthanded action here as Feldman got tangled up with his own teammate there, and the puck goes out of play. 6:51 left in the second period, all knotted up at 3 here. The crowd's back into it. I mean, it's an electric atmosphere at the Plex. It always is, JP. Clemson's 3-1 lead has disappeared in a matter of minutes. What do they need to do to try and either calm down? Do you think they need to try and get it to the third, or do you think they need to strike back?
Well, you'd love to get a goal and get the lead back before the intermission, but what Clemson has to do is just collect themselves. Stop taking stupid penalties and get themselves back into a position where they can just play the game. They've been playing on their heels for a while because they keep taking penalties.
Yeah, save there by Hayes on the shot from Ianta. I think you're right. They're doing themselves a lot of a disservice there as Mulcairn just shoves a Clemson skater into the boards. Big physical senior getting his last licks in here at the Plex. And he comes out with the puck somehow. What an absolute tank. As that one leaves the zone. South Carolina has it. They'll play it forward off the boards. Finelli gets into a clash. Down goes Iacobelli. Clemson somehow comes away with the puck, but it's snuffed out. And the Gamecocks play it forward all the way to Parker Dietz. 6 minutes left. Locken gets tangled up with Dietz there in front of net. Josh Wilkins has it here. Gets in front of Locken. Pad save Dietz. Henderson with it, sends Cobb flying. The puck leaves Clemson zone, and Josh Wilkins going to have to go back to get it. He's sat down by a Clemson skater. His bodies are just falling everywhere here. Falling into chaos, it seems like, as Clemson has it after a bad pass. Mulcairn knocks him against the boards. And South Carolina's definitely had an advantage on the boards, JP.
Yes, they have. That's where the physicality and strength of South Carolina comes into play. Fans wanted a penalty on the collision with Dietz, but Dietz is within his rights in that blue area.
Also, it looked like he was trying to kind of help locking up. You know, it didn't look.
It was not malicious. There was nothing there.
I think he was trying to slow him down as a big hit from Marco Pineda. That one aiming for blood right in front of the South Carolina faithful.
Nearly took down the beer tower.
And, you know, thankfully, it's still up for the fans' delight here. That gets about as big of a cheer as goals do here. Scove has it behind the net. Clemson fights him on the boards for it as we're under 5 now. Dunphy races forward to play it. Lays a big ol' hit on to Christian Romeo, but the Tigers come away with the puck. A lot of back and forth physical play here. Ian Hoover has it. Nice move there. He works it shot over the head of Dietz, but Ian Hoover wins a faceoff. How about the big, huge Ian Hoover with a move?
I mean, that's like watching Mason Plumlee ball handling moves there for a second. I mean, he looks silky smooth, taking that one right to the hole. And while, you know,
I did my best Eric Collins for you, Ian.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a nice move there.
You know, the crowd is back into it. The team is back into it. This team, you know, this game has really kind of flipped its script. Clemson holding on for dear life right now.
And this is the Palmetto Cup at its finest here. South Carolina controls the faceoff. Riggins deflects it down to himself. Shot just over the glove of Dietz. Richitelli tries to find Reed, and he does eventually. Riggins back to Reed. Looks like he's brought down there. No penalty. Clemson with control here in their own zone, trying to get rid of it. Good skating from Nick Kay, just goes up and takes the puck. Richitelli with it now at the blue line. Takes a deflection in front of Dietz. Slapped on and gloved. It's Flaherty looking to add his name to the goal sheet. Denied by Dietz. 3:39 left in this second period. 3-3 Palmetto Cup. JP, this is awesome hockey, man.
Yes, it is. I mean, fast-paced, back and forth, and we're getting some free-flowing hockey. We have a penalty in a little bit, and so we've gotten to see these two teams fly around at their best.
Back and forth, big hits. I mean, this is good stuff right here. South Carolina wins it. Just can't find a backhanded shot there, but a good attempt as Diaz slows it down, gets it back now as he enters the zone. Goes to his backhand there. Richitelli trying to square him away from Hayes. He passes it on to Peterson. Peterson fires, covered up by Hayes. 3:14 now left, and it's going to be a face-off in Carolina's zone. And that was the first bit of offense from the Tigers we've seen in some time, JP.
Yeah, and I think the big difference in this game is just how many opportunities South Carolina has had. They have put on nearly 30 shots on goal, while Clemson is sitting at just a little over 10.
And that would make sense as that one just past the outstretched stick of Connor Berman. Heinold with it now, left face-off circle, toe drag shot, saved by Hayes, and the rebound displaced by his defense. Bonsukin with it. Over to Marvin, under 3 now left in the second. Gets it forward to Adam Feldman. Berman will play it forward, and South Carolina gets a line change. Marvin's still going to pressure the puck. Iacabelli almost caught sleeping. Van Sicklen plays it over, trying to get it to Ianta, but Locken in pursuit. Finelli with him. It falls to Tommy Marvin, who'll just put it on goal. Parker Dietz just pokes that to the side. Looking for Van Sicklen. This should be icing, and it sure is with 2:21 left now. Clemson almost 6 skaters on there, am I right?
I think they might have.
Did they call him for that? I know they definitely.
They're just keeping Clemson from making subs.
Well, it looked like they were pointing at him like, hey, you don't want to do that one.
Well, yeah. South Carolina was trying to pull a fast one and get some subs on before they called the icing, and the ref shut that down.
Hey, good eye there. So that one takes a deflection off Iacabelli off the faceoff win. Marvin has it up against the board, absorbs a hit, and tries to keep his team with the puck. That one goes almost off his head, up into the rafters. And down hard here. Beer tower still intact, much to your happiness there at home. 2:07 left now. It's going to be a face-off They're going to blow this at neutral ice. They sure are. On the ice for your Gamecocks is John Riggins, Nick Kay, Colin Reed, Kai Bonsukin, and Tommy Marvin. Gamecocks win it. It's Marvin in neutral ice, gets it to his defenseman partner. Reed with a great pass up to Riggins. Looks for a cross-ice pass. Finds Kay off the board. Centering pass. Just put wide for Colin Reed. Under 2 now to go. Sully Koff gets it over to Ralston. Koff gets it back. He'll enter the zone. He's got Van Sicklen. Backhanded pass. Just a little too slow to be dangerous, but looking for Will Ralston. South Carolina has it. So they'll chip it down. John Riggins going to try and play that and beat Iacobelli to it. He does as he leaves it for his teammate Reed. Riggins to Bonsukin, 1:20 left in the second. Bonsukin fires just over the head of Dietz. Falls to Marvin, plays it off the boards, back to Riggins. Bonsukin with it at the blue line. Tries to snap on it, blocked by Koff. Now it's Gaveau with it. Unable to do anything with it. It's going to be a penalty on Clemson. On Gaveau again, I believe. Gavea, excuse me. Marvin's pass up to Riggins. Dietz played that well. But it's going to be Gavea, excuse me.
That's going to be boarding on Clemson. He hit him late after the puck was gone. His numbers were, hey, it's like in football. If you can see the guy's numbers, just don't do anything. And, well,
Clemson has been bad in the penalty game and in about every aspect of it.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, that one is just, it's another one, it's unnecessary, it's a self-inflicted error. And now a South Carolina team who scored all 3 of their goals on the power play, they get another shot here.
And, you know, it's fatal for Clemson. They were actually playing some decent hockey there, about to escape to the third with under a minute left now, 40 seconds. And you commit a bad penalty. Tommy Locken has it. Carson Scove now. He'll skate it back.
2 of Clemson's 3 goals have come while shorthanded.
You're absolutely right. Bonsukin, a snipe goal for his second of the night. From the blue line, the left-handed laser beam puts the Gamecocks on top. JP, these 2 kids from Dallas are just, they're having an individual showdown right now. My goodness, Bonsukin with an absolute cannon from the blue line, his second power play goal.
And he matches his former teammate Diaz with 2 goals on the night. But this one gives South Carolina the lead for the first time with 28.9 remaining.
Absolutely, 4-3 now. The Gamecocks finally on top in the Palmetto Cup. About to enter the third with 20 seconds left. Not sure what they're calling here, but they.
I think it was a
Offside?
puck out of play.
Out of play?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not quite sure, but
like it hit the bench.
Yeah, okay. 20 seconds exactly. 4-3, South Carolina leads. Neutral ice faceoff. Bonsukin with his 7th goal of the season. 2 beauties here tonight at the Plex. You know, on senior night, it's the freshman with 2 goals to his name, Pushkar. Slaps one at Dietz. He easily pokes it to the side. Diaz does a good job to clear that for the Tigers. We're under 10 now left. Mulcairn looks to just kill out this clock. McKeon tangles him up on the boards. Clock will hit 0 as South Carolina with a huge second period, 3 goals to make this a 4-3 game here in the Palmetto Cup. JP, what'd you like from the home team there?
I like just about everything.
I think that's a fair answer.
Although Clemson went up 3-1 early on with a Mike McKeon shorthanded goal to really kind of put South Carolina on their heels. I mean, the home team responded in kind, and they have taken the lead here for the first time tonight. And Clemson getting booed off the ice.
And you'd expect nothing less here at the Plex. It's not a friendly crowd, to those wearing orange and purple, but let's recap the scoring here for the second before we go to break. For the Tigers, it was Mike McKeon to make it 3-1 at the 12:25 mark. Then the Gamecocks rattled off 3 straight. That 3-1 lead disappeared immediately. It was Colin Reed kicked in off the skate to make it 3-2, followed up by Tommy Marvin at the 7:17 mark to make it 3-3, and Kai Bonsukin with 28.9 seconds left rifled it top corner to make this a 4-3 game going into our final period of regulation. That's going to do it for this second period. Please stick with us here for the third and final period. Again, I'm Spencer Ball, joined by JP Barry. Thanks for hanging with us so far, and we'll be back for the third period and maybe even more. And welcome back to the third period here at the Plex. I'm Spencer Ball, joined by J.P. Berry. The Gamecocks lead it 4-3 in the Palmetto Cup. The only time these two teams have met this year and the only time they will meet this year. It has been absolutely electric so far, JP. Tell us a little bit about what you expect here in the third.
Well, I expect a lot of high-flying action. I mean, we saw just truly an astounding pace of play in that second period. And, well, we're off to the races here.
We sure are, as the beer tower crumbles right in front of a legend, Earl, and along with him is Cade Heinold, who's still down. It was an absolutely monstrous hit there. And they're calling for a trainer. Excuse me, it's not Cade Heinold, it's Cam Iacobelli, who's getting up, but they are calling for the trainers. He's stumbling a little bit. They're just trying to get him off the ice here. Held up by his teammates, a dangerous hit on the boards. Iacobelli skating off to the Clemson bench, and glad that his teammates were there to help him get there. And
yeah, you never want to see, I mean, especially a senior on senior night.
No, that's very scary.
But the captain going down like that,
yeah.
You hate to see it.
And, you know, it's scary whenever you see him try to skate off and then he slips a little bit. And hopefully it was a slip, but we've got people from the Clemson bench yelling at some South Carolina skaters or the refs. Not quite sure which one, but at the refs, I do believe. But, I mean, really upset seems to be their head coach. Not quite sure who that is, but JP, you know, it kind of happened so quick and in a tough angle for us. Couldn't quite tell if that was a dirty hit or not. It was really tough.
It's a tough sport. You know, you're moving a mile a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, if you slow it down enough, I didn't get to see it. Like I did not see it live. And I just hope Cade Heinold is okay.
No, it's Cam Iacobelli.
Sorry.
I thought it was Heinold at first, but he was
different seas.
He was right in front of Iacobelli, but thankfully he is okay, at least enough to get to his own bench. He's getting helped right now, but again, big brutal hit here. Just 15 seconds in, we're at the 19:43 mark in the third period. You know that's going to fire a team up, though. Clemson's certainly going to.
And Clemson, you know,
they might come after him here. We'll see.
Coming off of a tough second period where they saw themselves take a 3-1 lead off the stick of Mike McKeon with a shorthanded goal with 12:25 remaining in the period. And then South Carolina really turned it on. It was Colin Reed with a goal off the skate of his teammate Marco Pineda to make it 3-2 on the power play. Then Tommy Marvin with his fourth goal of the season and 7:17 remaining in the period notched Carolina's third power play goal to tie things up. And then with 28.9 seconds remaining, Kai Bonsukin, who scored the first goal of the game for South Carolina, gave them the lead for the first time in Spencer. We just saw
Iacobelli headed to the showers with the trainer following close by. He's holding something, I believe, to either his mouth or his nose, so appears to be bleeding there, and I think that's what the officials are trying to scrape off the ice right now. And you hate to see that, but gladly, JP, he is under his own power. That's always a good sign here. And so we've got about a full 20 minutes left to play whenever the officials are done doing their cleaning over there in the corner. And, again, you got to know that Clemson's going to come out fired up, and we should see some good hockey, and it might get pretty physical. Hopefully.
Even more so than it already was.
Exactly. You know, we've seen Clemson enter the penalty box a good 5-6 times, I'd say, JP.
Yeah, all but one goal in this game was scored via special teams, be it a man up or a man down.
We've got a face-off in Clemson zone. South Carolina able to control it. Shot wide of Dietz from the blue line. Slapped on pad, save Dietz. That one from Pineda. He's still chasing after it behind the net. Gets it over to Pushkar. Backhanded pass, Scove. Saved by the chest of Dietz. Able to get it out to Heinold. He wristed it all the way up ice to Diaz. Mulcairn racing back shot just wide of Hayes' left pad, and that one off the side of the net. I thought that one, goodness. So that one shot out of a cannon, just found the side of the net instead of the back, and that one.
I saw the net ripple and the puck, and I was like, oh, man, what a shot.
Yeah, I thought that put the fear of God in all the Gamecock fans here as Drew Henderson has it now on senior night. A nice move. Left face-off circle shot. Deflected wide of Dietz, but a great move there from Drew Henderson. And a good job to poke it free from Clemson there as Nick Kay has it now on the far side. Good pass over to John Riggins. He bumps off Ionta. Back to the blue line, it's Dunphy. Keeps it in for South Carolina, but it falls to Clemson. Looking for Will Ralston on a cross-ice pass. Ian Hoover did a good job to cut it out, but almost turns it over to Van Sicklen. Great pass there to get that out of the defensive zone from Aiden Dunphy. It does go for icing, though, as Nick Kay unable to make contact with it.
Yeah, and by my count, Parker Dietz has faced 32 shots on goal through this game so far. He's let in 4, but, man, South Carolina has just pressured him, especially considering that on the flip side, Zach Hayes has only seen 11 shots on goal.
You know, I think Dietz has been really good, especially considering the type of shots that he's faced so far tonight. Romeo has it up to Van Sicklen. Cut out by Dunphy. Flipped forward to Colin Reed. Riggins has it in neutral ice. He'll just play it down off the boards. Gamecocks go for at least one change. Tigers try to clear. Dunphy just kind of whiffed on it there. And Will Ralston off to the races. He's got Koff to his left. Just leaves it, though, as Riggins was in pursuit. Tommy Locken has it now. The senior up to Riggins in neutral ice. He'll hold things up for his teammates. He'll play it off the ceiling and get some changes out of it. Not a bad play there from Riggins. 17:37 left now in the final period of regulation. 4-3 Gamecocks.
Yep, and, you know, we've seen a lot of faces on the ice for South Carolina in this one. And what we haven't seen is Garrett Albers. I don't know if he's hurt.
I think we've seen him a little bit.
Have we?
I think so. I'd say that's one of the harder numbers to see is
True,
whenever you see a 2 and it gets a little ruffled.
Are bunched up and
I just remember calling his name, so maybe I called the wrong guy, but I think he's out there and active as South Carolina dumps that one down. Clemson tries to get it out of their own zone, but South Carolina giving them that press we are so accustomed to seeing here. Clemson does a pretty good job of just fighting for the puck off the boards, but Bonsukin, arguably the Gamecocks' best so far, gets it off the boards. Clemson still with it. Shot deflected wide from Hayes. They still with it. Dangerous attempt, blocked. It's a good shot there from Alex Wallace. It's him and Troy Gavea. Some good opportunities there.
Yeah, Clemson had 2 guys posted up in the slot with great opportunities. And fortunately for South Carolina, they couldn't really get the puck to them on time, or else that would have been an even better shot attempt. But Clemson still with an offensive zone draw here.
Yeah, they did a good job of helping Hayes out as well, getting in front of him and blocking those pucks by any means necessary, JP. You've got to protect this 1-goal lead. You'd love to add to it, but by any means, you got to protect it. Tommy Locken, it escapes Clemson zone, 1-on-1. Takes it left side off the post. He had Dietz dead to rights and just skipped it off the outside.
I couldn't tell if that hit his blocker or not. It skipped up into the post. I couldn't quite tell. But what a one-on-0 opportunity for Tommy Locken.
Yeah, and Connor Peterson for Clemson, the puck just kind of left his stick, and Tommy Locken, you give him a head full of steam. He is good as gone, just couldn't quite finish it, but a really nice try there from the senior. 16-16 left here in the third as that one goes for icing.
The other way.
We've seen icing more than anything else here in the final period of play, but you know what, JP, I think we'll take that instead of penalties.
Absolutely.
We've seen a lot of those. Again, here on Student Gamecock Television. Thanks for joining us. I'm Spencer Ball. He's JP Barry. Of course, post-game, no matter who wins, what happens, we'll probably have some emotional words to say, just saying thank you, because really this has been such a fantastic opportunity. We won't get caught up in the middle of the game because there's still 16 minutes of hockey left. The puck falls to Brendan Flaherty in his own zone. The Gamecocks work it forward. It's cut out by Mike McKeon, but it does fall to Garrett Albers. He'll play it forward to Connor Berman. The senior chases after it, does a good job of getting the inside position on the boards. And the Gamecocks still fighting for it. It finally falls cleanly to Clemson. That's something they haven't done a ton of. The puck takes a lot of nasty deflections. No icing going to be called there as Riccitelli gets down. He's brought down. Clemson's still with it. Mike McKeon been really aggressive so far tonight. Riccitelli does win the puck back. Flaherty has it. Skates it in. Saved by Dietz. With 15:23 left in the third.
Yeah, and Spencer, we haven't seen a lot of sustained action one way or another. It's just been a lot of skating back and forth in this one. That's going to settle down, I think, a little bit, or at least Clemson's going to get a lot more frantic with their chances. And it'll be up to South Carolina to kind of protect this one-goal lead or expand on it.
You're absolutely right. And for Clemson, it feels like they've got to find Santiago Diaz. He's been creating everything for them offensively, him and Mike McKeon, but Diaz has really been their engine, their speedster, who's caught South Carolina lacking at times as this puck goes up and out of play. And really that's what you got to look to a guy like him to try and get Clemson back in the goal column, jump those passing lanes. And JP, as the clock winds down, you got to think the pressure is going to ramp up.
Yes, I mean, the clock's not your friend when you're trailing on the scoreboard. And, you know, for a team that's really only kind of gotten their scoring off of the special teams, the longer this one stays at 5-on-5, the more you have to think it favors Clemson, or favors South Carolina.
As Carson Scove has that, he'll skate it forward, but it's deflected before it can get to Dietz. And for South Carolina, I still would not feel comfortable with a one-goal lead. You definitely are trying to add to your total here, but you certainly just don't want to make any silly mistakes. If they win the puck cleanly there, it's Carson Scove. He's got Pineda following behind him. Makes a move to his left. It falls to Pushkar. Skates around the back of the net. Whips around. Fires a shot just wide of Dietz. The senior Mulcairn has it. He looks for a shot, but it's taken from him right before he follows through. Puck's blocked up in the offensive zone. And they blew a whistle there. I'm not. It's going to be a neutralized face-off. Yeah, something.
If I can read hand signals correctly.
Neutralized face-off. As the baby rings out, JP. I mean, it's classic Plex here in our final day. As Riggins gets it to his left, it's Nick Kay. Shot takes a deflection before it gets to Dietz. Clemson looking to get out. Didn't have numbers there, but Dunphy did a good job of just keeping his head on a swivel. He's all alone up there. It's Tommy Papa, just surrounded by a sea of black jerseys. Colin Reed has it. He skates it in. Nice back turn there to get it to his teammate. Ian Hoover on the blue line. Forward off the board all the way around to Aiden Dunphy. Back now to Riggins on the near side boards. Hoover, blue line. Turns on it, pad save by Dietz. Good idea from Hoover there. Clemson clearance does leak through into neutral ice, but it's given away here. Roan and Bryant, they are going to be offsides, though, from Santiago Diaz.
That one skipped over the blue line just ever so slightly. Clemson couldn't keep it in, because if they had, that would have been easily their best chance of the period. Lo and behold, they didn't, so we're going to bring this one outside.
And those are the moments that Clemson has to capitalize on. I mean, when, you have numbers, it's kind of a poor clearance or someone sells out to try and block the puck. Just a missed opportunity for South Carolina can really open the door for Clemson. That's how they've gotten a couple of their goals so far tonight. Here's a goal scorer, McKeon, parried away by Hayes. Good job just punching that one almost. Under 13 minutes now. Kai Bonsukin with it. He already has 2 goals on the night, 2 long shots from power plays. Racing down the ice. It's Tommy Locken. Looks like he beat him down there.
Yeah.
But
what?
Gonna call icing either way, but
that's odd.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't really
He
understand that
clearly
one.
beat
Yeah.
Cade Heinold down the ice. I mean, I don't think there's any arguing that.
And if Clemson scores here, you're not going to hear the end of that one.
Well, Tommy Locken might, try and chase an official around the rink. But I would say a more vocal member of this Gamecock hockey squad, JP.
Almost certainly.
Enzo Finelli with a backhand clearance. Doesn't quite leave the zone, so Diaz has it for the Tigers. Backhanded pass, tries to find McKeon. Nothing doing. Nice move there. Sky Bonsukin going for his hat trick. Dietz shoulders it away, but almost beat him top corner for the third time tonight. So Wilkins just batted that puck down, but it falls to Diaz in the offensive zone. He's got Heinold to his right. Shot blocked to the right of Hayes. He's all over the place. Ralston, Diaz covered up by Hayes. And they're shoving now. No harm, no foul there as everything's okay.
That one was just kind of ridiculous.
There was a little bit of a shove on Diaz when he was already on the ground.
That's what I mean. Like, of course,
it didn't look egregious, though. It wasn't super dangerous, but definitely not sure if you see that hit if the Clemson jersey isn't on Mr. Diaz there.
But there were some they were slashing at it, but I mean, they hadn't blown the whistle just quite yet. Hey, that's hockey.
No harm, no foul.
That's hockey.
No harm, no foul. Face-off in Carolina's zone is controlled by the home team in black, but one thing both teams' jerseys have in common is the Palmetto State on each shoulder. That's what they're fighting for tonight. The Palmetto Cup. Clemson hasn't won it in almost a decade. 2016-17, the last by College Hockey South's very own account. South Carolina has it now in neutral ice and looking to extend the streak. Garrett Albers now, near side. It's cut out wisely by a Clemson defender and just loses it there. Did Sully Koff. 11.5 here to go. Albers, nice move and spin in neutral ice, just unable to get it past the third defender. But he gets it back now. He's got Feldman to his left. He shoots. Pad save Dietz. Riccitelli. Far side. Skates it around. He's got Flaherty. Keeps it himself. Spinning shot. Pad save again by Dietz. Gamecocks run into each other right in the crease. And that puck goes all the way down. Clemson's going to win the race there. That's going to be Will Van Sicklen. He's taken down. His bodies are just hitting the ice. Carolina's got a 2-on-3 here. Flaherty, as Clemson gets back, he's got Scove and Pineda with him. Flaherty looks for a back pass, unable to do it as South Carolina was making some changes. Forward comes Gavea. Sticks collide and the puck goes up. Pineda has it near side on the boards. He's able to clear it. 10:20 left to play here in the third, almost at the halfway point as Zach Hayes makes a save and then plays it out. Pineda plays it through his legs wisely. Drew Henderson now. He's got Pushkar to his right. He's met in the middle by some Clemson defenders they're still tangled up and on the ground, both trying to find their sticks here. Pineda whiffs on it. Now it's Clemson off to the races. Pass all the way down to Hayes. Good job there playing it to the side with his stick. Pineda just gets it over to Gavea as pressure just ramping up from both squads here. Ethan Callahan has it. He plays it around. Looking for Heinold. Cut out by Scove. That was a great move with the stick. Falls to Heinold in the middle. Again, shot over the head of Hayes. 9.5 to go. Mulcairn off the boards. That'll go all the way down. Is going to be an icing call there with 9:27. Gamecocks lead at 4-3. JP, what did you say there in that continuous movement?
I couldn't say much because the puck never stopped moving. But, Clemson, with that being icing, they're going to really lean on these tired South Carolina skaters. And the longer these guys are out on the ice for South Carolina, the more a chance of a mental lapse or a physical miscue. It rises and rises, and all it takes is one small slip up, and Clemson can rip it open and tie this thing.
And that's why as Mulcairn fires from goal from neutral ice, gets Dietz to hold on to it, so they'll win a face-off. JP, I think you're right. South Carolina can't be complacent here. One goal, we can see things turn on a head at any moment here. I think they need to be playing a little bit more aggressively and, again, searching for that 5th goal. Give yourself a 2-goal lead. Riggins wins the faceoff and falls for Reed. He shoots. He scores. There's the 5th goal. Colin Reed with his 2nd of the night.
And there you go with South Carolina. They get that backdoor opportunity off the rebound. Dietz hasn't allowed many rebounds tonight, but there he did, and, Reed couldn't have been in a better place.
Absolutely. Riggins won the faceoff, did it himself, played it off Dietz, and then Colin Reed tucked it home, and 5-3. Gamecocks have the lead as security almost getting involved here to escort a Clemson fan, but they're just hugging it out, some incidental contact, but there's some words exchanged that I just can't quite repeat. So I sure won't. We're going to stick to hockey. Gamecocks leading 5-3 here.
The first non-power play goal for South Carolina in this game, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
And, Riggins hasn't found himself in the goal column yet, but that's his 2nd assist at least so far tonight. Did a really great job of creating opportunities, and the Gamecocks still have it. And they score another! How about it? There goes John Riggins. He stays on the ice, and just like that, the lead goes from 1 to 3. 6-3. Gamecocks double up Clemson.
And, man, with the South Carolina team, things can snowball in a hurry.
And I tell you what, JP, tonight, I said it, we're speaking good things into existence. John Riggins puts himself into the goal column, just as I say. He hasn't found it quite yet. It just seemed to be a scrum for the puck, and it fell to him, JP. Is that what you saw there?
Yeah, it's his 25th of the season, Spencer. And like you said, it was just it was loose in the crease. And, the great ones can find it on their stick even when they're not really searching it out, and that's what John Riggins did.
And you know what? Sometimes they also say, JP, it's better to be lucky than good. For John Riggins' sake, he is also good, but it doesn't hurt to get lucky every once in a while. So really,
and the refs are talking about something at center ice. I'm not quite sure. Maybe Clemson took their timeout.
I'm thinking that seems to be the case as the teams are gathered up. Again, if you're just joining us, the Gamecocks lead at 6-3 here. Sandstorm rings out in the Plex. And just like that, this game is blown wide open in less than a minute, JP. So we should be about to resume play here. You got to think Clemson's going to turn up the pressure, don't you?
Yeah, but man, it feels like that all the wind has been taken out of the sails of this team. They just, Spencer, they tried so hard that in the end, it didn't even matter because
game's not over just yet, but it does feel that way.
They were winning at 5-on-5 for so long there and got nothing, and then South Carolina spawns with 2 goals. In the span of about 27 seconds.
You're dead on. Clemson, they were firmly in this game. Not to say that they had control by any means, but it was a 4-3 game, and all they needed was just an opportunity or a mistake. Unable to get one there, and South Carolina just capitalizes as Bonsukin skates it in. Moves to his left, fires just past the outstretched glove, and another one. Make it 7 for the Gamecocks. They've tacked a touchdown on the Tigers tonight.
I couldn't quite tell who that was, Spencer, but Dietz, here we go.
It's going to be Tommy Marvin leading the line there.
Again.
How about it, JP? Is that 3 goal scorers that have scored 2 goals apiece here?
I believe so, if we're counting Diaz.
No. Reed, Marvin.
And
Reed, Marvin, Bonsukin, and then Riggins. There we go. How about it, though? And JP, the moment you've all been waiting for, Zach Hayes' night is done. It's time for Big Peter Papadopoulos.
Oh, Peter Papadopoulos in net.
It's a senior party here at the Plex, JP, and we're all celebrating. Gamecocks lead it 7-3 at the under 8-minute mark. As that one's chipped up Tommy Locken has it. Right face-off circle, skating left. Unable to do anything with it, but it falls back to him. Riccitelli squares on it.
This is now 6 goals in a row since Clemson went up 3-1 halfway through that second period.
Yeah, and I mean, this is again, still a much closer hockey game than the score indicates here. Because outside of the last 2 minutes, it was a 1-goal game, but it gets bad quick here when this Gamecock offense is clicking, and they are firing on all cylinders here. As they win the face-off. As the crowd chants, "We want 10 Flaherty rifles." That one to the left of Dietz. McKeon tries to whip it around to Heinold. Plays it forward to McKeon. Looks for a cross-ice pass to Diaz, but Wilkins sniffed it out. He gets it forward to Finelli, right face-off circle. Nice move, gets it to his left. Dietz, good save there with the pad. As the stick breaks there, as Diaz tried to get a little bit more on that. He's still able to clear it, but it does fall to Riccitelli instead of his teammate. Plays it off the boards. Tigers pass it back in their own zone. Get it forward to Bryant. Way to cut that out from Ben Riccitelli there. That was a really good pass, but just better defense. And it's given away. Here's Wallace, poked away by Mulcairn. JP, this feels like the Gamecock hockey team we are much more familiar with seeing.
It does indeed, and all it took was one opportunity. You know, Clemson slipped up, gave South Carolina a chance, and, I mean, they have buried this game under a flurry of goals.
Absolutely, and how about a big save there from Peter Papadopoulos?
And a penalty is going to come up
to
and
Clemson. They're fighting over there. It's Matt Franco and Tommy Locken getting into it, pushing and shoving.
Well, it was a late hit on Locken that he was not appreciative of.
I believe that's Locken, am I right?
It's either Locken or Scove. I can't quite.
Starts with a 1, I tell you that much.
Our cameraman, Doug, says it's.
Oh, it's Feldman. Excuse me, that was a 6. Couldn't tell if it was a 6, 8, or 9. It was the first.
Yeah, I mean, it's it was a late hit. It drew a penalty, and then Feldman didn't quite think that a 2-minute minor was quite the justice he deserved.
Yeah, Feldman and Franco going to the box respectively for each team. Swag Surfing breaks out. This crowd still packed to the brim. So we've got a 7-3 game here. Got to feel like the Gamecocks are feeling no mercy, but feeling pretty good about their chances to keep the Palmetto Cup here. It's going to be 2-minute penalties for each squad. 4-on-4 hockey. Even strength face-off. Won by Carson Scove. Mulcairn has it now. Back to Scove. He skates it in, shot into some traffic there. Iacobelli, Reed looks for his hat trick just off the post there. Riccitelli has it. Excuse me, that was Henderson. Reed in this near side face-off circle. Henderson back to Reed. Leaves it for Scove. Mulcairn now, top of the key, shot just to the right of Dietz. Clemson trying to clear it. Iacobelli doesn't do so. Buys himself a moment to breathe, and South Carolina will take it back out as collision with an official there. No harm, no foul. Henderson, shot save, covered up by Dietz. 5:10 left to play. 7-3, Gamecocks on top.
And the flurry of goals is kind of taken away from the night Parker Dietz has had as he's nearing 40 saves on the night, Spencer. It's really been quite phenomenal. But unfortunately for him, his team is in front. I hate to disparage anyone, but
yeah,
he's been kind of left out to dry.
A little bit, and sometimes JP has found it a little hard to cover up on some of these pucks. But again, I feel like, the Gamecocks, they're putting some heat on these pucks as well. It's no easy task, but you know, some of the loose pucks out in front of net have also done him no favors. As Marco Pineda tries to play it to himself, it's Nick Kay, with it. He's got Pineda right behind him. He works it all the way around. Dietz tries to wrap it around. Shot across face of goal, nothing doing. As Diaz has it, 4.5 to go here in the third. Cade Heinold with it in neutral ice. He loses it, and the Gamecocks regain possession. It's Nick Kay. Bonsukin to his left. Pineda out in front. That was Wilkins trying to connect a little senior-to-senior action. Up for Ian Hoover. Hoover to Bonsukin. Nice move. Clemson defending that well. Taken down is Bonsukin by Mike McKeon. As they're tangled up, and Bonsukin holding on to his stick there. As it's stuck behind Dietz in goal. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey here as that penalty just expired with 3:45 to go. Shot deflected. Papadopoulos ever ready back there in goal, the senior big number 30. 3.5 to play. Bonsukin taken down. Clemson still with it here. Cross-ice pass almost gloved by Locken. Tigers still with it now. Berman puts him up against the board and almost wins the puck back. Backhanded shot leaks in. Clemson's going to add 1 to their total here. We'll see who leads the line. Just kidding. I lied. We will not. Did you get a clear view of who that was?
I think it might have been number 14.
It was tough. I couldn't tell if that was 26 Van Sicklin or if that was 14 Troy Gaveau. Not really sure. Gavea, I've been saying his name wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how to say it. Didn't.
What I do know for certain is that Clemson scored a goal, and
They did.
They have over 3 minutes left. They trail by only 3. That's a tough one for Papadopoulos. Made the initial save, but it just leaked 5-hole into the back of the net.
Yeah, and 7-4, again, Gamecocks can't get too comfortable here. You still got 3 goals, but still got to play some hockey. Got to close it out here. Keep the Palmetto Cup in Columbia. Good deflection there to make it a little bit harder, and Clemson will have to touch up. Backhanded clearance, and they will touch up finally, but the Gamecocks do have the puck with 2:45 to go. Mulcairn with it behind his own goal. Will Ralston, great job pursuing that one, and a good pass. Shot just wide. A good attempt there from Solikov. Callahan now with it. Backhanded pass to Ralston. Took a weird bounce off the wall there. Nick Kay cuts it out. Able to clear a good job there from the senior. Gamecocks get a line change. 2:10 left to play here. Josh Wilkins almost cuts that one out.
And South Carolina touches it while offside for some reason.
Not quite sure why they did that one. But 2:06 left to play here in the third. Again, 7-4. Your Gamecocks are on top here in the Palmetto Cup. 11 combined goals. I mean, filling up the stat sheet galore. This one has been a fun one, JP.
That it has. And we have a whistle here.
And Ronan Bryant's helmet got stuck in Connor Berman's. That's an oddity. And, you know, JP, that might be the first time we've seen that here at the Plex. And it's not often we can say that with our tenure.
No, it's, yeah, you know, hey, one last time to see something for the first time.
How about it? Real bookends moment. Getting 7-4, Mike McKeon comes back on for Ronan Bryant. Clemson wins the faceoff, needing 3 goals in just 2 minutes to send this one to overtime. Ian Hoover with a pass. Berman deflects it, but falls while doing so. Clemson will race back to get the puck. They'll pass it around and try and escape their own zone here with 1:40 to play. They will do that with McKeon, but he just plays it right to Ian Hoover. Nice move there from Hoover, who just bodies off Alex Wallace there. Big hit in front of the boards. You could see that one coming. They didn't like it. Wallace shoving at Hoover. Tell you what, I wouldn't pick a fight with Ian Hoover, JP.
No, I wouldn't either. I mean, that's you're up against the wall, and he is the wall moment. And, well, you're just not really showering yourself in glory there for Clemson. It's going to be Alex Wallace hitting the box.
If the ref could open the penalty box,
well,
sure would. But you know what? Give us a little bit more time together, guys. As we're all stuck in the penalty box. Again, 7-4, South Carolina leads it. They've got a power play now. You could tell that was just a crime of passion, if you will, there from Alex Wallace. The 5 skaters on for your Gamecocks: Nick Kay, Ronald Mulcairn, Drew Henderson, Josh Wilkins. I believe that's Connor Berman. It'll be a lot easier to tell whenever we see the back of his jersey. So they'll close up the penalty box. 1:18 left here. And we will get back underway. It's Tommy Locken instead of Berman. The man we just called has it, number 19, Tommy Locken. Far side, working it in. Drew Henderson at the blue line with Mulcairn. Mulcairn plays it off the boards to his right. Coming to it is Wilkins. Finds Locken behind the net. We are under 1 minute to go here. 7-4. Gamecocks lead it on senior night right in front of Dietz. He covers up. Wilkins trying to poke that one through. Unable to do so with 51.1 left. Again, after this game ends, we will do a little post-game show for everyone at home, so stay tuned with us there. It's bound to be a good one, JP.
Almost certainly.
Josh Wilkins now with it. Behind the net, 40 seconds left. Tommy Locken has it now. Gamecocks maybe looking for one more on the power play. Drew Henderson with it. Cross ice to Nick Kay off the side netting. Under 30 now to go. Mulcairn keeps it in this zone. Skating in is Wilkins. Shot deflected wide. That was from Henderson. Nick Kay on the boards. 15 seconds now. Over the top of his head. A weird play, just slapping it at Dietz. He makes a couple saves. 7 seconds left now. Mulcairn fires over his head. Wilkins tries to sneak it in, and he does! On senior night, Josh Wilkins gets one more for the road. Gamecocks lead it 8-4 here with just a couple seconds left in this one.
And the senior with 1.7 remaining in this one extends our stay in the Plex a little bit longer, Spencer.
How about it? How sweet it is. 8-4, Gamecocks lead, and after this face-off, we will have your final. Referee blows his whistle. If he'd ever dropped the puck, Ronan Bryan is trying to keep us here all night, I guess. They finally drop it. Your Gamecocks win. They keep the Palmetto Cup 8-4. South Carolina take down their in-state rivals Clemson on senior night. Not just for the players, not just for the fans, not just for the parents at home, but for us up here in the booth as well. What a wonderful game we've just witnessed. A fitting end here. Gamecocks win it 8-4 over Clemson. There's the mighty cup. Tommy Locken shows it off to the fans. One last time, another group of seniors get to leave this program saying they never lost to that team in the upstate.
Yeah, you know, how you said how sweet it is, how sweet it is. Another group.
You know, that's right.
They go their 4 years here without losing to Clemson as they line up for one last handshake here at the Plex. It was a great game. I mean, really the score does not really adequately describe what we witnessed here tonight.
Yeah, it was really close. I would say through about 50 minutes. We got to about the 8-minute mark in the third period, 8 minutes. And that was when things started to get bad for Clemson. South Carolina just tacked them on and on and on. And South Carolina, you know, it turned to 8-4 as your final score, but it was really close here as, again, these two teams will exchange handshakes. The Gamecocks' next stop is in Jacksonville, Florida. we are going to do a quick post-game show. We're just going to put our little faces on camera for that. So please stay tuned. We'd just love to tell you all how much you mean to us and how awesome this was. So we'll do that in just a moment. Again, thanks for tuning in one last time here at the Plex. I'm Spencer Ball. He's JP Berry, and we'll be right back after a quick break. And thanks for joining us. I mean, we've witnessed yet another excellent game at the Plex. The Gamecocks win it 8-4 over in-state rivals Clemson. JP, again, we just talked about it as they're celebrating behind us. You know, this was a much closer game until the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, South Carolina notches their 20th win of the season as their regular season ends, and they turn the page towards nationals. They beat Clemson again. I mean, it's been just pure domination over the last several years, but for the senior class especially, as they skate off with the Palmetto Cup behind us. They've taken about 1 million pictures, I think.
Oh, and they're not done by any stretch of the imagination. The seniors get their own pictures. Teams get their pictures. Fans are climbing the boards. Not a big fan of that, the Flight Adventure Park management here. They yelled at the same guy to get down about 20 times. He's not listening, and you know what? Victory maybe lets you get away with a little bit extra. But, JP, again, you mentioned that this Gamecocks team is off to nationals. Can you give the fans just a quick reminder of what's next and also where they can tune in to watch this squad compete to look to retain their national championship?
Absolutely. You can look at it, I believe, on the AAU YouTube channel, which is where they broadcasted the College Hockey South tournament. For South Carolina, I picked up the wrong piece of paper.
If not, just tune in to social media. I promise you, College Hockey will not let you down in that regard.
Absolutely, but you will catch South Carolina in Jacksonville, Florida, starting March 5th. With group play, as they are the number 3 overall seed, they will take on number 6 seeded Farmingdale State College, number 11 seeded Delaware Blue Hens, and number 14 seeded Alabama Frozen Tide in that group play. And Spencer, they're going to be looking to repeat as national champions.
Again, another class of seniors have, played their last game here at the Plex, but it's our last game here at the Plex, JP. I'll give you the floor here. Just, say anything you'd like to within reason.
When I transferred into the University of South Carolina after my first semester of college, the one big thing I wanted to do was I wanted to be on the other side of the camera, getting the talk ball, doing any kind of announcing that they had, anything. And I found out that there was a hockey team, and I was like, South Carolina has a hockey team? And they're good? And, you throw your hat in the ring, and you look what happens. I actually had to – the first semester I could do it, I kind of had to turn it down because I already had a job on Friday nights. But once that ended, me and him, we took the reins. And
haven't looked back.
It's been the greatest experience of my college career. I've gotten to, call the games for the best college club hockey team in the land. Very few get the opportunity to say that, Spencer. It's been nothing short of a pleasure to spend my last 3 years on Fridays, Saturdays, and even some odd Sundays.
Love a 10 a.m. game.
Up here in the attic, whether I'm here 2 hours early or my alarm didn't have a sound attributed to it, and my friends had to basically almost drive their car through my apartment to get me here. It's been the best time of my life, and it sucks that it's over, but it's even better that it happened, Spencer. You know, let the good times roll, and that's just what we're going to do here, I think.
And they keep on rolling. Again, just want to say thank you to anyone who's ever listened to us. It means so much, and especially I think the part that makes it all worth it, you know, it's Friday nights at 8:30. Not that we have much better to be. I'm kidding. There is nothing better than this. But again, just especially all the parents and people that, you know, have players or family on the team. It means a lot that you guys are so supportive and come and tell us or find us on Twitter and, you know, meet us in the Plex lobby surrounded by arcade games. It's stuff like that that means the world, and it's all the more reassurance that, you know, we love what we do and we're doing the right thing. So, again, just a huge shout-out.
We're not going away. We'll be here for softball
of course.
in the coming
and
weeks.
we're not dying. We just want to say thank you.
Yeah.
Of course. Hopefully we're not dying. But, you know, we've got hopefully long careers ahead of us, so be sure to, you know, follow us on Twitter, our own individual handles. I'm at Spencer J. Ball. You're at JPBerry64.
Yep,
Nailed that. There you go. You can find us. But
don't be a stranger, folks.
Please don't. But again, not only to us saying thank you, but thank you to our technical staff, not just now, but for all 3 years. Tonight we've got Caroline Smith, Mary Des Parker, and Doug Andreuzzi behind the camera right now. But again, just a huge shout out to everyone. A huge shout out to Cock Hockey for letting us do this.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it's
shout out to the Plex for giving us their Wi-Fi password to begin with.
And that's you know, it means more than they know, especially when it went out last week. That was a fun challenge. But again, you know, I think that's about it.
We can't delay the inevitable forever, Spencer.
We can't.
Let's
But
get outta here.
just thank you again. I've been Spencer Ball.
I'm JP Barry. We'll meet again some sunny day.
Johnny Cash said it best. We'll leave you with that. Have a good night, everybody.